Hello. I'm just going to do a quick rundown of how I approach TDD. So basically, I'm aiming to create a API that, for instance, gives a count from a table. And as with TDD, we start with a failing test and then make it pass. So what I'm doing here is I just wrote a test for a file that doesn't even exist now, and I'm going to run the test with watch, and then this is going to fail because the file doesn't exist now. So that's the red green refactor cycle. The test is failing right now. I'm just going to create the file, and then the test should I'm just going to create the file in source, and then the test should start to pass. Let's see. As you can see, I've just created the test and the file, and the test is still failing because I have named the because of the copy paste. I have named the variable differently. This should pass. Yeah, so red green, this is already working. So because I'm doing a very basic TDD, the first thing I did was to check if the file actually exists. So this is the file which now exists, and this is the test for that file. And with this approach, we are going to get 100% code coverage because we first write the test and then we write the code. Now let's have a look at the function that we want to write. The function we want to write is basically a count function inside the job counter, and yeah, let's just name it counter because that makes sense. So now if I do this, it should again fail because the file is not there. Yeah, yeah, because it fails because the file is not there. Now if I rename this file to be existing, oh, the test should pass again. Okay, it's not. Let's check what's the problem. Oh yeah, the variable name again. Now with the right variable name, this should pass. Yep, good. Now let's first see if the function that we want to create exists. So I'm gonna write a function called count. So job counter.count, right? And yeah, let's name it file. It should exist. Then I'll have another describe for the new test that's gonna fail. So I'm just gonna say count for the function, and then should check the function exists first. That would mean we have a job counter dot count, which equals to no, it should be true. So it should be something like this is true, see, but then it should have type of still is true. This should fail, of course, or maybe it has next error. I'm going to check. Is function type. I'm checking. Yep. So type of this is function. I'm gonna check this truth. So now they should fail because the function does not exist. Yeah. Now I'm going to export that function. To make the test pass. Now the test should pass. Exactly. So this is how you should think of TDD, like not some other way around. You should first make your test fail, and then write the minimum amount of code to make the test pass. Now let's just do another small thing. Like this is what the function is actually supposed to do. Show should return the count of jobs. Yeah. So this is what the function is actually supposed to do. And at that point, probably we should make this an async function. But now let's see what am I expecting. So I'm going to first call the function. I expect the result to be an object. Yeah, let's see. Yeah, an object. So dot to match object, and I expect it to be something like job count, which has a value of, let's say, 14. Yeah, and of course this is going to fail because my current job counter does not return anything. An easy way to write tests actually is if you just split it. Yep. And then you hide this. Yep. Now you can see your code on the left and then the test on the right. This makes it a lot easier to write tests. Yeah, so just writing enough code to make the test pass, what I could do is I could do this. Return an object that has job count 14 and my test should possibly pass. Okay, there's something wrong with the check. Let me have a check. Return the job count of that. I'm just trying to see what's wrong. Okay, let me look at some other tests to be sure. Return an object of that type, return object. Should possibly pass. I'm trying to see why it's failing. What if I do to strict equals? Stri, strict strcity. Yep, this should work. Possibly no. Expect restrict is not a function. Let's do strict equal. Yep, my tests are passing. So, like, this is the way we should be doing TDD. We just write the enough code to make the test pass. Now I can actually, I'll actually write the real test to show that, yeah, this thing works. For instance, I don't need this. Now, as soon as I had a mysql library, for example, I should mock it. So yeah, at this point I just want the mysql library. Yeah, so now as soon as I have this here, I'm just mocking it so that I can use it. Yeah, so now here if I do a query, let's say I have rows equals to db.query select all jobs where has expired equals to 0, for instance. I'm just making it simple. What I need to do is I need to do a has counter. So here I think it will be rows 0 not counter. Yeah, something of the sort. So as soon as I do this, this will fail, because if everything is correct, it's actually gonna hit. Yeah. Yeah, this is complaining because this is returning a promise. So yeah, it should still fail. Yeah, because it expects okay, it's actually got a promise. So let's just see what's happening here. Yeah, I'm just playing around with this right now. Hey, it's coming back with an empty promise. Okay, let's see how it's done in another file, just to be sure. Okay, the result is coming down. Okay, fine. So it should be something like this. Trying to think what's wrong. But I think you get the idea. The thing is, like, I'm mocking it later. I'm just not gonna mock it. It's fine. The main idea here is, yeah, first write the test, make it fail, and then write just the enough amount of code to make it pass. In this way, your code will be very, very iterative, and then you'll know if something breaks pretty fast. And as soon as you use something that you need, you will need to mock it. I mean, mock the dependency. That's how unit testing works. Okay, looks like I have an issue. I just want to see why. Yeah, because of this guy. Yeah, so again, my tests are passing. Anyhow, I'm at a passing state, and then, yeah, to make things work, I think I'll need to, yeah, probably add a wait here and stuff like that to make it actually work, which I can try. Let's see. I kind of know what the issue is now. So let's go. This looks fine. That means this becomes a sync function, and then this becomes an await. Now let's see where it fails. Nice. So because it got 201, because it actually ran the whole thing against the database, and the database now has 201 rows. Now if we mock the MySQL thing, it's still gonna have something similar. Yeah, it's complaining because we have just mocked this guy, and then we're calling query on a mock function which is not returning anything. So let me just get the mock return of the query. Exactly. Let's have a look at this. Let's copy this as well for now. Yeah. So the test is failing. Basically, I'm running the query and that's being mocked, and that's the whole problem, right? Now, if I do this, that's what I'm saying. Now, whenever I call the query on the MySQL, which is this relating to this, I want it to send a resolved value with a counter of 14, and then this will pass unless this guy has some issue. Yep, so only one other call, blah, blah, blah. Okay, I don't care because that's one. I don't even care of this for now. And boom, my tests are passing. And I have successfully mocked the MySQL client and the query function. And I'm saying whenever I call this db.query here, it just gives me back a resolved value of counter with 14, and that's how my tests pass again. So this is how you should approach TDD. This should be the mindset. Like every extra line of code you add, first add the test to make it fail, and then add the code, add just a minimum amount of code to make it pass, and then make it better. If you need mocks, do the mocks. Yep, that's a very quick overview of TDD. Thanks.